guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be going over Anaxa's kit, team synergies, and builds. Before we begin today's video, for the question of the day, let me know one of your favorite video games. Lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, hit the like button to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. To begin, let's go over Anaxa's kit. Anaxa is a Wind Erudition character who focuses on inflicting numerous weaknesses onto enemies, which results in him being able to deal increased damage onto enemies and also being able to attack enemies very frequently as well, which we'll get into this very shortly. When it comes to Anaxa's basic attack, he'll inflict damage to a single enemy. Anaxa's skill will deal damage to a single enemy, and then there will be 4 additional instances of damage, prioritizing bouncing to enemy targets that have not been hit by this instant of his skill. Anaxa's skill being a bounce attack is great in the case of dealing with an enemy in a single target scenario, as he'll be able to hit the enemy initially with his skill, and the rest of the 4 additional instances of damage will also hit that same enemy. As for Anaxa's weakness implant, whenever Anaxa hits an enemy, he'll inflict a random weakness onto them with a priority of a weakness that is not already inflicted onto an enemy. Once an enemy has 5 weaknesses on them, he'll inflict the qualitative disclosure state on them, which will make enemies take increased damage from Anaxa. Additionally, when Anaxa hits an enemy afflicted with qualitative disclosure, he'll now be able to deal an additional instance of this attack, which essentially allows him to skill twice in a row and only use 1 skill point. This also counts for his basic attack as well. This results in Anaxa being able to attack very frequently now, especially if, let's say, he was on a team with a character that can advance him forward. This can now result in you dealing 2 skills in a row, then advance forward Anaxa, and now you'll be able to deal another 2 skills in a row, which allows him to have high attacking frequency. And for an example of how this damage output can be, let's say each skill dealt a total of 200,000 damage to make this simple. Since he can now skill twice in a row when enemies are in the qualitative state, this results in 1 instance of 200,000 damage, then immediately after another instance of 200,000 damage, which now results in a total of 400,000 damage, right? So then if you advance him forward and he does this again, now you end up with dealing 800,000 damage onto enemies just like that. So him taking advantage of the qualitative disclosure state will be huge for his damage potential, and even dual DPS capabilities when paired with characters such as the Herta or Jade, for example. Now for Anaxa's ultimate, he'll attack all enemies on the field and inflict the sublimation state onto every enemy on the field. And now they'll have every weakness inflicted onto them, and if the targets do not have control resistance, they are unable to take action in the sublimation state. This allows Anaxa to take advantage of the qualitative disclosure state since the enemies will have enough weaknesses inflicted onto them. Plus, he can already inflict weaknesses onto enemies for numerous turns just by hitting them. So Anaxa should be able to easily inflict and take advantage of the qualitative disclosure state on enemies just through his kit. Overall, Anaxa has a pretty fun kit when it comes to the immense attacking frequency he'll be able to take advantage of when enemies are afflicted with qualitative disclosure. And now that we've gone over the basics of his kit, let's go over team synergies. When it comes to team building with Anaxa, you can focus on his dual DPS capabilities or hyper carry possibilities. When it comes to dual DPS Anaxa, he'll be a very nice pair for the Herta, due to the fact he'll be able to attack twice in a row when enemies are afflicted with qualitative disclosure, which now results in him being able to nicely regenerate energy for the Herta and quickly stack interpretation onto enemies. Anaxa will be one of the best partners for the Herta as a result. As for another dual DPS team you can do, you can use Anaxa with Jade, as Anaxa's attacking frequency can nicely be utilized for gaining stacks for Jade so that she's able to unleash frequent follow-up attacks. For dual DPS teams, I would recommend having a team-wide buffer, which could be Tribbie, Ruame, Robin, and so on. But if you do use a single target buffer, then there may have to be some experimentation when it comes to determining who to buff on the team. You can also use debuffers in the supportive slot, for example Pela or Jiao Cho. For the sustain, I would recommend Lingsha, Huahua, Aventurine, and so on. This ultimately comes down to which sustains you have available on your account. Lingsha's attacking frequency is great for gaining the Herta energy, Huahua is great for the attack and energy with her ultimate, and so on. Now for hypercarry Anaxa teams, This would consist of using him with 2 supports and a sustain, or even going sustainless and having 3 supports with Anaxa. I would recommend taking advantage of a character who can advance forward in Anaxa so that you're able to take advantage of those frequent attacks you can unleash with the qualitative disclosure state on enemies. Sunday is an excellent option for the advance forward, damage boost, crit rate, crit damage, energy he could provide in Anaxa, and so on. He just has a lot in his kit that is going to be able to nicely amplify Anaxa's potential. You can still use alternative characters though to advance Anaxa forward, such as Bronya or even Sparkle. Remembrance Trailblazer could be a nice support alongside Anaxa, as Anaxa can take advantage of the true damage Remembrance Trailblazer can provide with mem support. Other supports you can have on the team can be Robin for her damage boost, attack boost, team-wide advance forward, Tribbie for the ult type res pen with her skill, enemies taking increased damage from the zone from her ultimate, Ruame could be useful for her damage buffs, the ult type res pen from her ultimate, and so on. Other options could be Pela and Jiao Cho, and overall there's definitely a nice mixture of supports that you can use alongside Anaxa. For a fun meme team, you can even try Super Break Anaxa, as Anaxa being able to attack as frequently as he does and his skill being bounce instead of AoE can result in nice toughness reduction onto enemies, which you'd use him with either Ruame, Fugue, Harmony Trailblazer, and if you use a sustain, then Linksha or Gallagher. I will be doing showcases for a lot of these team ideas, so do stay tuned for those and also consider subscribing so you know when I upload them. Now that we've gone over some team ideas with Anaxa, let's go over how to build Anaxa. When it comes to building Anaxa, for his relics, I would recommend Scholar Wind Erudition for the additional crit rate and increased skill and ultimate damage. Genius of Brilliant Stars. He is able to implant quantum weakness onto enemies, so he can technically take advantage of this relic set. Eagle of Twilight Line, which allows him to advance himself forward after using his ultimate and take advantage of the additional wind damage. Or Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters for more debuff-heavy teams. For planars, I would recommend Izumo if he is on a dual DPS team with another Erudition character, and Rutilant if he is on a hypercarry team. Do keep in mind though, you can still use Rutilant for a dual DPS Anaxa team if you have very good Rutilant pieces for him. For main stats, we're taking a look at crit rate or crit damage body. If you have a lot of crit rate in your substats, then you can consider crit damage body. Otherwise though, do go for crit rate. Speed boots, attack or wind orb, and then lastly attack rope. For substats, you'll focus on crit rate, crit damage, speed, and attack. For light cones, I would recommend his signature. You can consider Into the Unreachable Veil. The Great Cosmic Enterprise though is a great free-to-play option for Anaxa, and it's currently obtainable this patch, being version 3.2, through the Star Rail World event. And you can also consider using Today's Another Peaceful Day as another option, and so on. When it comes to my initial thoughts on Anaxa's value, he's looking to be one of the best partners for the Herta, and can also be a very fun hypercarry option, which allows him to have team variety in a sense in how he can be played and used. I'd love to know what you all think about Anaxa so far, if you're personally pulling or if you're not too sure just yet. And as a general tip for those that are on the fence, since Anaxa is during the second half of version 3.2, I would highly recommend waiting for the version 3.3 livestream, which is roughly a week and a half after his release, to see if you're more interested in the 3.3 lineup or even 3.4 lineup. As earlier in that week, we also get to see who's coming in version 3.4 before the 3.3 live stream. That'll be all though for today's video. Do stay tuned for my Anaxa showcases coming very soon, and then I will also be working on my Anaxa review once I am able to test him out some more. And also I hope you guys enjoyed my little chibi model. I will be streaming in a few hours of this video releasing, just showcasing the new model, and I absolutely love the model. It's just super freaking cute. So I'm a huge fan of the chibi model. We have a chibi moon now. But yeah, regardless from that though, if you did enjoy this video, do consider subscribing to see more content from me. Leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.